you'd asked me 5 years ago, where do you see Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman in the year 2026? I would have replied, probably prison.
Hopefully.
Because 5 years ago, I was clearly a lot more optimistic than I am now. But no, these two master political operators not only have never faced any serious consequences for their actions aside from some fines, they're absolutely thriving right now. Because it's the golden age of bullshit and grift, and the president himself has essentially given the green light for it, as long as you are sufficiently loyal to him. We're not going to go over the long backstory to what is by far the longest running plotline on this channel, though there is a playlist if you've got just several hours to spare.
Yeah, you can watch us de-age.
Yeah.
Or age, I guess. If
you can do it in whatever order you like. But the last time we checked in on Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman, the verdict to the last of several cases against them for running a racist robocall disinformation scheme in 2020 was being handed down. And they ended up not even getting fined for it, just put on probation for a year.
Trying to undermine American democracy.
Well, don't do it again.
I think that these boys have learned their lesson.
I mean, one of them's kind of a boy.
One of them was a boy when we started this show.
Yeah, he spent like half of his life doing this shit.
Yeah, one guy's in his 50s.
Some kids are just born bad, folks.
Look, I guess it would be like if you're good at something, follow your heart and your
But
dreams.
they're not good at it.
They're not even good at it. They're bumbling morons who get caught every single time.
Yeah.
The only thing that works out for them is there's always someone dumber than them waiting and ready.
There's always a greater fool.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little before they got away with it, with that whole thing, we learned that they had actually already moved on from the political disinformation game and discovered a new, very lucrative grift that feels illegal, but somehow isn't.
Importing exotic cats into Florida wildlife sanctuaries?
No, that's a little too...
I'm thinking another 5 years back, and I'm so caught up in the moment.
As unethical as that is, it's a little too much actual work for these two.
Yeah. Since taking office for the second time, Donald Trump has, of course, been on a pardoning frenzy. I don't know if you've noticed, he does it a lot.
Crime is legal now.
Very bad people. On his first day back in office, he pardoned basically everyone who participated in the January 6th insurrection and has already pardoned hundreds of other people. Mostly convicted fraudsters who definitely did the shit that they were accused of and have ultimately faced little to no consequence.
Also, like a narco, the former president of, what was it, fucking Honduras or something?
Yeah.
Literally, like, doing the stuff in Venezuela while pardoning a guy who actually did the stuff they're accusing Venezuela of doing. George Santos, the Aussie media guy, that one was kind of funny.
Yeah, and of course the January 6ers, who you would have to imagine, at the very least, some of them have gone on to work for ICE, and in one scenario, or in a couple scenarios, have weaved their way into the current administration.
Yeah, and
after receiving their pardons.
And also may be entitled to compensation. Like, that never fully went away.
Yeah, Todd Blanche was talking about it during his supposed confirmation hearings, which we might get to, but he dodged that question very obviously of whether such fund exists at all.
Because it's extremely unpopular, even among Republicans. Like, it is untenable in an election year, especially.
We forgot to sweep that one under the rug.
Yeah.
It is still probably happening.
That. Can you not ask me about that, actually?
A lot of the questions he answered as if it was, I will follow the law. And not answering the direct question, Anyways, it seems as if all anyone has to do to get a pardon from Trump is have someone close to Trump put in a good word for him. And then a whole pardon lobbying industry has sprung up to facilitate this, for a fee, of course.
Yeah, it's going to cost you.
That's what Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman have been up to. And back in November, it was reported that they'd been paid $960,000 to lobby for the pardon of a guy who Trump's own DOJ had recently sent to prison for defrauding the government of $38 million. Just 7 months after his conviction, the guy received a full and unconditional pardon from Donald Trump.
It's levels of corruption that would sound absurd if you were, even during Trump's first term, if you said this is what he's doing, you're like, okay, calm down. Calm down. Calm down, folks.
The most,
where'd you read that? The Daily Kos?
The most for just feral Trump supporters, if you had told them something like this years ago, well, that would never happen.
I mean, the most feral ones now, you tell it to them, and half of them are going to be like, "Nah, I don't think so."
Yeah, no.
Where'd you read that? The New York Times.
Well, he was probably railroaded by the Biden administration.
Yeah. So yeah, clearly, getting that put in the newspaper was a great publicity stunt for Wohl and Burkman's new hustle, because they soon attracted a very high-profile client, rapper Boosie Badazz, formerly Lil Boosie, who in recent years, he just kind of keeps on getting caught in possession of firearms despite being a convicted felon who's not supposed to have any guns. It's happened so many times that he's now potentially facing several years in prison. But luckily for him, you can now literally buy your way out of a criminal conviction.
Yeah, you just open up the phone book and there's 2 guys there.
Unluckily for him, though, he decided to hire Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman for the job, and they apparently failed to deliver.
Oh, my stars.
Despite collecting a whole lot of money from them.
Well, we need more money.
Yeah. Which has led to just an absurd new lawsuit.
Does no one Google these people?
No one, they ask ChatGPT now. No one Googles anything.
That's, to their credit, the brilliance comes by getting one thing done correctly. Because then the ChatGPT is probably like, well, they successfully were able to get this other guy pardoned. So the guys you're looking for.
According to the Washington Post, they're very good at getting people pardons.
And probably the only people I would say, I'm sure this is happening blatantly, but I feel like these 2 would put out the ad for it instead of just having people come to them and look through back channels like, hey, by the way, we're doing pardons, everyone. Pardons. I know this sounds illegal, and it probably is, but don't worry, we're doing all the risky stuff.
Well, they've got great reviews on surefireintelligencereviews.com.
Yeah, of course, where all the legitimate reviews are. And, again, I don't want to keep giving them credit, but apparently they have plot armor. So if you hire these guys, they're going to bear the brunt of the legal responsibility, and apparently nothing's going to happen to them.
They can, in fact, keep getting away with it.
It's wild.
Here's Notice, who broke this story, and there's going to be a lot of reading today because this article is long and the whole thing is incredible. There's just I'm trying to edit this down for clarity's sake, and I'm like, nope, gotta keep that. It's just if you've been following the Jacob Wohl, Jack Burkman saga as long as we have, which at this point is nearly a fucking decade, it's just crazy to see them being just so unethical and so incompetent at the same time all these years later.
It's like the boiling of the frog. It's like if you jumped into the Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman saga here, you're like, whoa, what's going on? But no, if you've been boiling for a long time, this is just par for the course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get started.
On New Year's Day, rapper Boosie Badazz received a call from his lawyer that he'd been given a second chance. 2 men, whom Boosie paid $600,000 about 3 months earlier, had sent a phone call with his lawyer that they secured for him a pardon signed by President Donald Trump. The act of clemency would have wiped away his federal rap sheet and saved him from an imminent sentencing hearing for possessing a firearm as a felon. But that pardon never materialized. Now, Boosie, whose legal name is Torrance Hatch, is taking legal action against Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman, 2 far-right political operatives and lobbyists at J.M. Burkman and Associates, to recoup half of Boosie's payment as stipulated in a contract notice reviewed. So far, the pair have refused, citing an overrun of costs in conversation with Boosie's lawyer handling the arbitration, Jill Kraft. They also said they were effectively bankrupt, according to text messages reviewed by Notice.
Okay, I'm liking where this is going.
Hey, sorry, a lot of people's money's gone.
You don't understand. We're effectively bankrupt, so even though we said we'd give you half the money back, we need it more than you. So, I don't know, you got Burkman.
Jack Burkman is out buying flyless pants right now. He is tired of being embarrassed.
J.M. Burkman and Associates said in a statement to Notice that no provision to return half the fee was ever actually agreed to. This is the first known arbitration taken against a pardon lobbyist or firm during Trump's second term. Boosie's legal actions underscore the high-stakes pardon economy that's taken shape as Trump returned to the White House and fundamentally changed how pardons are decided. Boosie had appealed to pardon czar Alice Marie Johnson about his case during Trump's first Black History Month celebration since returning to the White House. That's Trump, you want to win points for Black History Month? You should pardon Boosie Badazz. It's okay. How could I hate black people? I'm pardoning Boosie Badazz, and he definitely did all that shit.
Again, this is they're attempting to play chess with the president because they're handing him things. This is how you have to present Trump with something while he is president. Mm-hmm. You have to present it to him with the story, with everything that he can immediately turn to a camera and say, Black History Month, and I just pardoned one of the greats.
Yeah.
Boosie Badazz.
Some are calling me the greatest civil rights president to ever live.
Much like a Pokemon, he evolved from Little Boosie into Boosie Badazz, and now he will evolve further because I am taking away any restrictions.
Lincoln freed the slaves. Trump freed Boosie Badazz. Who's to say?
Who's the better president?
The resulting silence wasn't promising. Without a clear path to clemency, Boosie sought another way. Boosie first heard about Burkman's firm through good word of mouth, hearing that they'd secured 9 pardons for their clients, according to Boosie's criminal defense lawyer, Megan Blanco. Federal lobbying disclosures don't substantiate that claim. Only one of the clients for whom Burkman and Wohl have registered to lobby, nursing home executive Joseph Schwartz, has received a pardon, according to a notice analysis of federal lobbying disclosures. And it didn't come until last November. And yeah, he's the guy
whose mom bought a seat at like a Trump dining thing and donated to a charity and was able to get him off for literally stealing from senior citizens.
And the government.
And
his own employees. Like, he was stealing from everyone. And
all it took was like a dinner with Trump and then working with 2 of the like dumbest motherfuckers on earth.
Trump's own DOJ sent him to prison because of all the crimes that he did. And he also, like, he got off so fucking lightly. His case, he was going to prison for like 3 years with a chance of parole in like 1 year. Like, it was such a fucking slap on the wrist already. But he was pardoned, and Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman took credit for that.
Well, Trump is clearly trying to create yet another money printing machine where his own DOJ can put someone away and then release them upon payment.
They're calling it catch and release, but good this time.
The problem is that Trump is making so much money on crypto that this is not even worth his time. Anyways, Boosie said he agreed to Burkman's help the first time they spoke late last September, and Burkman's firm sent Boosie the contract within days. They were real aggressive. They were talking like they had Trump on speed dial. Boosie told Notice of Burkman's initial pitch. Burkman and Boosie each signed a contract reviewed by Notice on September 30th. The contract is riddled with typos and errors, including a provision that would allow Boosie to request a partial refund of the $600,000 fee if the lobbyist had not secured a presidential pardon by close of business on January 31st, 2025, several months before the agreement was signed. Even so, both parties acknowledged that the date at the time was meant to be for 2026, according to Kraft, Boosie's lawyer. Between September and January, Burkman and Wohl repeatedly invoked their association with far-right activist and Trump ally Laura Loomer in text messages with Blanco, Boosie's lawyer. Wohl said that Loomer helped with the Schwartz pardon and that she could help with Boosie's application. They said they proposed that Loomer ask Natalie Hart, the president's executive assistant, to physically bring the application to Trump. Several days after January 1st, Blanco asked if Loomer could help, to which Wohl responded that he tried to send the, quote, rapper batch of pardons through the black world, and said Loomer is the person for the Jewish guys. Wow.
Yeah, sorry, Laura, she doesn't handle the black cases. I'm not going to explain further. Also, like, yeah, I mean, Jacob Wohl did have an association with Laura Loomer. It is funny how, like, they're parallel sagas. Like, Laura Loomer, somehow, despite everything, has the president's ear to this day.
Which is still one of the more bizarre things about the current administration.
Wohl and Burkman were disgraced, even among conservative circles, like, after the second or third bullshit press conference where they accused someone of, like, being a sex freak.
Yeah.
But at one point, Jacob Wohl and Laura Loomer collabed on a weird little, like, documentary where they traveled to Minneapolis and tried to find proof that what's her name? The congresswoman.
Ilhan Omar?
Ilhan Omar had, like, married her brother or something, but in the process filed a false police report on video. Mm-hmm. Of course, got away with it because they get away with everything. Anyway, It's just interesting. Like, I doubt they've spoken in years. But they're claiming that they got Laura Loomer on speed dial and she's got Trump on speed dial. And she'll handle all the Jews, but sorry, we're going to have to go through the black channels for Boosie.
Oh, The brain trust that has the White House's ear right now is just it's awful. It's fucking disgusting.
Jack Burkman and Jacob Wohl, they got a great track record with the blacks. Their previous the whole fucking robocall thing was like specifically targeted at black communities. They hired like a black voice actor to be like, y'all don't get finessed. Don't get finessed by registering to vote by mail. They're gonna take away. They're gonna start charging you like alimony, and it was like so fucking
taking away like SNAP benefits.
Yeah, it was
just awful.
Real
and
bad.
That was the one that they just got a slap on the wrist for.
Yeah.
When you could say that was arguably one of the worser crimes that you could do as an American. Is
one of the worst and also one of the dumbest because they literally they signed their name at the end of it for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it continues. Wohl claimed that MAGA influencers like Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, and Erica Kirk had endorsed a pardon for Boosie, as had House Speaker Mike Johnson and GOP Representatives Nancy Mace of South Carolina and Andy Biggs of Arizona. Everyone whose opinion he cares about has endorsed this, Wohl said in a text message to Blanco in early January, referring to Trump. And the article then is just like, everyone we reached out to who got back to us said, like, I've never even heard of Boosie Badazz. Like, Jacob Wohl is a freak. And no, what he said is not true, actually.
But I am eagerly awaiting his dad's yearly calendar with all the pictures of him and his hot wife.
I forgot about David Wohl.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend.
His sexy calendar.
His girlfriend, Breck. And how they filmed an erotic boudoir calendar for all of their fans.
One of America's great families, the Wohl family.
What's David up to? We never, who is Jacob's mom? What is her story?
She's the woman that has the phone number that's attached to all of the crimes. Because he keeps putting his mom's home number.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's fuck.
Yeah.
But it's
crazy that again, this is just one of the tragedies of this job is I have so many memories from my childhood that have been pushed out by Jacob Wohl's the voicemails and stuff like that. It's honestly kind of sucks. Anyway. Oh well.
Over the course of the business relationship between the lobbyist and the rapper, Burkman and Wohl told Boosie and Blanco that his case was progressing. They said a near-complete pardon application had been delivered to the pardon attorney and the White House counsel was reviewing it, according to texts and emails reviewed by Notice. They made it seem like a done deal. Burkman said in a text message on New Year's Eve, the president had it in hand and is ready to sign. Then said in the phone call with Blanco a day later that it had been signed, and all that was left was for the White House to announce it, according to Blanco.
Woo!
With Boosie's sentencing hearing approaching, Blanco began to seek outside confirmation of what Burkman had relayed, including reaching out to an assistant U.S. attorney on the case, who she said checked the system but found no confirmation that a pardon had been signed. This is classic scammer behavior. Oh no, he's definitely
it's in the mail.
What's the end goal? They're just stringing you along as they can, but with no idea how to get out of it. So they're just yeah, Trump has it right now. He's already signed it. Actually,
I don't know.
It's just not in the system yet.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just assuming that because they didn't secure the pardon, that Boosie's just going to go to fucking prison and not be on their backs for a while.
Well,
or he'll walk around as if he's some kind of free man, commit another crime, and then it's even worse because he thought he was pardoned.
I mean, he probably is going to prison, but I don't think his case has gone to trial yet, or whatever. I don't know. He's still out. He has tour dates coming up. So
see him now.
Yeah,
see him now, folks.
And he needs the money because he's out $600,000.
Damn. According to Blanco, a White House aide said days later that they had not seen a pardon application for Boosie at all. By March, with no pardon in hand, the pair were left pleading with Boosie for time. Berkman Associates claimed it couldn't refund Boosie's money because the fines against the firm left it essentially bankrupt. We owe more than $6 million total due to the robocall fines plus other debts, Berkman said in a text message to Boosie in late March after the rapper had requested a return of half the fee. They appealed to Boosie for more time. Let's just focus right now on getting this pardon done. Thanks, you, Berkman wrote.
Thanks, you.
Hey, let's not worry about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you've wasted. Let's not worry about the fact that neither of us has your pardon in hand. Yeah. Let's just focus on getting this done.
Listen, here's the facts.
Let's just get off the phone.
Here's the facts. You gave us the money. We have it.
Yeah.
And we need it. We are fucking broke. The FCC and multiple state and local governments they've levied large fines against us. And not only do we not have that money, we're terrible with money.
Yeah.
We waste the money we have. So we need your money. need it more than you do. You're going to prison. What are you going to do with $600,000 in prison? Buy like 1 million packets of ramen?
Yeah.
Boosie, we need it more than you do.
Yeah, they're trying to like scam their way out of the debts accrued by previous scams. It's a wonderful little snowball that they've built.
By accruing more debt that they are trying to get out of paying.
Jacob Wall pushing a giant round Jack Burkman up a hill.
They need like another bigger scam to pay back the money they owe to Boosie Badazz.
Yeah.
And then another scam to pay off whoever they ripped off in that one. Eventually it'll all work out.
They'll have enough money to bail themselves out.
Yeah.
And then it's all finished. And yeah, of course, in the end, they did not secure that pardon for Boosie because they're grifters. The whole thing was a grift. Even the one case where they got credit for securing the pardon seems to have actually had little to nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
They were probably like, oh my God, what good luck.
Yeah, like he did pay them. They were paid, but the pardon probably had nothing to do with them. And it's probably the result of like the guy using every other possible avenue of corruption to like grease Trump's balls.
So when that story was first reported, it did seem a little bit strange that after everything Wohl and Burkman have done over the past decade, they'd still have the deep political connections necessary for this kind of work. Turns out they don't. And even if they somehow did, a little bit of research by Boosie's legal team would have revealed that these people are not honest and not trustworthy at all.
It's very strange that they did not do the most basic due diligence.
The only thing I can assume is that you look at these guys and you look at their track record and you look at the peaks and valleys of the two Trump administrations and you say, well, everything is so stupid right now that maybe these guys do have a connection to someone in the Trump administration.
That is a very good point, actually.
Like, who else? Who else?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems stupid, but everything's stupid right now. So.
Yeah. Like, the Secretary of Health is munching Zyn packets while the nation explodes from watery diarrhea.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're completely upside down.
It's all topsy-turvy.
It sure is.
But this is just a sign that every lawyer out there, whether you're watching this now or you know a lawyer, every lawyer needs to watch our show to avoid getting this kind of egg on their face.
Exactly.
If these lawyers had been subscribers and possibly members of this channel,
they would have not.
This would have never happened.
We constantly there's so much money in the economy that is wasted by people not watching this show.
I know, it's a shame.
Out there, I do want to say solidarity to the luckily we had a scare here in Southern California. They said there was maybe some stuff popping up here, but apparently so far we're at the same level as we were last year.
Oh, the diarrhea levels are
are lower or flat. But
every time my stomach rumbles, I'm just like, oh fuck here.
So in solidarity with everyone out there, because there's a lot of people watching from around the country, put the brown heart emoji in the comments if you have or suffer or currently suffering from the doo-doo virus. We are so sorry. I'm sure it's bad. I feel like I had something like this months ago. I don't want it again. It is not fun. Mine lasted about like 48 hours of just...
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it was bad.
Pedialyte.
Oh, yeah. No, go out. They make a lot of Pedialytes now because of all the running. They even got a Gatorade one now for the Florida boys.
Well, I do love that, speaking of the doo-doo, like Taco Bell...
they're getting it so hard, it sucks.
Taco Bell did what any smart business would do and preemptively pulled lettuce from their menus in multiple states, and now the U.S. government's kind of suspicious. Maybe Taco Bell is the one pooping on the lettuce.
No,
it's not how it fucking works. They
get their lettuce from a distributor, then also give it to everyone else in the fucking
Do you not
country.
understand the supply chain? How would that even fucking work? It's all so fucking stupid.
I saw one very passionate person arguing in a comment section that was saying he was a very staunch Taco Bell defender, as most people are. A lot of people in this country grew up on Taco Bell.
It's slop, but I like it.
His all caps screed was basically like, I'm so sick of people blaming Taco Bell for diarrhea. These people have the worst diets of their lives. They go to Taco Bell, they get a little bit of fiber for the first time in probably months, and they have a decent bowel movement and blame it all on some how horrible the food is. But no, that to their credit, a full 2 weeks before this was major nationwide news. I mean, back when we talked about it 2 weeks ago on Weekly Weird News, Taco Bell, they were ahead of everyone. And to their credit, they took a big risk by saying that, and obviously it's blowing back in their face. But the funniest part is they don't even rely on lettuce for most of their stuff.
Yeah, it's just a little sprinkling. It's really just to give it a little bit of like freshness and crunch. But
Chipotle's over in the corner like, I hope nobody mentions us or any other fast food place that uses lettuce, which is
they all do.
Yeah, it's it is very funny to see people who have horrible diets being like, well, look who's healthy now.
Yeah, don't act like you don't have poop stains in your pants too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got poop in our pants. This is America.
From different sources.
This is America. Our diets are terrible. We're half microplastics at this point. The air we breathe is just full of PFAS and other bad shit.
Yep.
It's, yeah.
I don't care what restaurant I go to. All of it's coming out of a microwave.
Anyway, back to Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman and Boosie Badazz. This is, fortunately, mostly a victimless crime. Boosie Badazz is not a good person. And he is not even just a bad person, a very weird bad person. He has multiple sons, and each one of them he has like openly said on like their 12th or 13th birthday, like, yeah, I paid a hooker to like suck my underage son's dick for his birthday. He did it like multiple times. And he's also just like super bigoted against like gay and trans people, which like, of course, but like the stuff with the hiring hookers for his sons is fucking weird and very bad.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I wish someone more, better had stolen his money, but
he also like
maybe this is the punishment he deserves.
He like encourages his sons to watch pornography.
I don't like this.
And then when criticized for it, he's like, well, I'd rather have my sons watch hardcore porn than watch the like LGBT agenda that's on like children's television. Trying to turn my kids trans and shit.
I mean, he does sound like the person that would get a Trump pardon.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they should have told Trump all this because he'd be like, oh, yeah.
Keep going.
Man after my own heart. But the crimes that Boosie is accused of here, they're very clear cut. He was caught multiple times with guns when he wasn't supposed to have them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, let them fight. Let's see this lawsuit through. It sounds like Wohl and Burkman are having serious money troubles, which is awesome. And a lawsuit like this could make that problem even worse for them.
I mean, they're going to have, they would, by now they've probably had like Jack B. and Associates, Jay Burkman and Associates, Jay Wohl and Burkman Associates. Like they've got an unlimited, they're on LegalZoom like every day going bankrupt. Yeah. You can't fucking catch a bankruptcy with them. Yeah, you're suing Jay Burkman and Associates.
Yeah, that firm has closed.
It was closed 6 months ago. This is J.B. Erkman and Associates and ass.
But yeah, also, I mean, this story at least gets the word out that they can't actually get anyone pardoned and hopefully just puts an end to this latest grift of theirs. Now, when someone Googles Jack Burkman, Jacob Wohl pardons, it won't be that article from last year that claims they got that guy the pardon. It'll be this article about how they ripped off Boosie Badazz, which, I don't know, sounds like he has a lot of guns. Not really the guy I would choose to rip off.
No.
But yeah, I mean, the real villain in all this is, of course, Donald Trump, whose corruption has allowed a situation like this to exist in the first place, where a criminal is suing some other criminals for failing to secure a criminal pardon from a criminal president. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, this is a sub-story to a much larger, more fucked up story, but gets the point across quite well.
But moving on now to some actual good news, which, depending on where exactly you live in this country, might not be so good, but for us, it's definitely good.
Cool.
We might not experience anything resembling winter here, but the winter months are still depressing as hell thanks to the switch to standard time, which makes the sun go down around 5 p.m. or so, which I hate.
Not right now, though. It's beautiful right now. The summertime, love it.
Sun going down at like 8:30. Oh, it's the best. Well, folks, not anymore, because Congress just united across party lines to vote for permanent daylight savings time. All that needs to happen now is for the Senate to approve the bill and Donald Trump to sign it. And that is where
I know two guys who can get this across his desk and get it signed.
Well, just like
Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman.
Legislation is not happening right now, at all, because Trump won't sign anything without the SAVE Act.
The Lindsey Graham's final wish.
Anyway, here's the New York Times with where things currently stand.
The House on Tuesday voted overwhelmingly to make daylight savings time permanent, but the measure to spare Americans the semi-annual clock changing that shortens winter days faces an uncertain path to enactment. the measure, fittingly named the Sunshine Protection Act, passed on a 308 to 117 vote. Its fate is murky in the Senate, where one GOP leader said it was unclear whether it could move ahead, and at least one Republican appears inclined to try and block it. President Trump has championed the effort to save an extra hour of daylight before nightfall and make the time zone permanent, describing the ritual of moving clocks forward in the spring and back in the fall a ridiculous twice-yearly production. We're going with the far more popular alternative, saving daylight, which gives you a longer, brighter day, Mr. Trump wrote in a social media post in May. And who could be against that? A lot of people, and a lot of them are Republicans who, before hearing that Trump said this, were against it and then miraculously flipped their decision on it.
Right.
Because this is a conversation that I had with my own family members where I was like, hey, isn't this great? And they're like, what? No, that sucks. And then, this happens and it's, I'm looking forward to this new adventure in time.
Yeah.
I forget, the excuses are bizarre because a lot of it has to do with, farmers. And I just am, my thing is, look, I love our farmers. I think I love our farmers more than our government currently does. But
I love our farm workers.
Yeah. In general. But the idea that the time is making the difference now, like when the sun goes up and when the clock says what time it is.
We have electricity.
Yeah.
You can wake up whenever the fuck you want.
That's what the roosters are for.
Yeah. Anyway, it continues. Not everyone agrees with the proposed change. Representatives Mary Gay Scanlon, Democrat of Pennsylvania, and Pat Harrigan, Republican of North Carolina, backed an alternative bill earlier this month that would mandate standard time, which Americans observe between November and March, be used all year. Morning light is an environmental cue to set our body's internal clocks and promote alertness, Ms. Scanlon said. And dim evening light tells our bodies it's time to sleep. Though many Americans find they are groggy and tired after changing their clocks, sleep experts warn that permanent daylight savings time would hurt, not help, sleep health. The Coalition for Permanent Standard Time, an advocacy group, argues that the winter time zone aligns closely with the body's circadian rhythm, which is its internal clock. Should the bill pass, state lawmakers could opt out of permanent daylight savings time in favor of year-round standard time if they enacted such legislation.
So yeah, there's still a lot of debate over this issue. I think the argument my dad would use is that it was, I remember when they tried to change it and it was real dangerous for children going to school in the dark.
Yeah. Which is he's not wrong.
Yeah. But that does happen regardless, depending on where you live.
But also, why the fuck is school so early? I guess it kind of makes sense because parents got to go to work, but I don't know. In high school, I had to wake up so fucking early.
Yeah, it was
school.
Absurd.
It was bad.
6 a.m.
I was always
7 a.m.
I was always tired. I've always been a night person, and high school, I felt like shit the entire 4 years.
Yep. Awful.
When I got to college, I think once a week I had one class that met at 8 a.m., but the rest of it, I put it all in the afternoon and evening. I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah, I didn't do that because I'm stupid and because I worked in the evenings at Applebee's. And no, I remember sleeping through a lot of college classes because I would work late and then get up fucking early and I'd have to drive quite a bit to get to the community college. And yeah, it just fucking sucked. It sucks. Anyways, of course, a lot of debate over this issue still, and how you feel about it will depend a lot on whether you're a morning person or an evening person, and where exactly you live. Just look at these maps from the nonprofit Save Standard Time. Permanent daylight savings time creates a situation where places like Eastern Oregon, Northeastern North Dakota, West Texas, and most of Michigan and Indiana spend nearly half the year with sunrises that happen later than 8 a.m., with the sun rising as late as 9:30 a.m. in the middle of winter. Permanent standard time, on the other hand, would mean a lot more days of waking up for work or school with the sun already out. But hey, look at us down there in Southern California. We get 0 post 8 a.m. sunrises regardless.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I guess this doesn't affect our mornings either way. But it still affects our evenings, and we, like many others, like saving a little bit of daylight for the early evening. Unfortunately, a lot of science points to morning daylight being a lot more important than evening daylight when it comes to health and safety. Also, we've actually tried permanent daylight savings time before, and it was long enough ago that we've kind of forgotten about it, but it didn't go so well. That's my dad is like, yeah. We tried this.
Yeah.
It didn't work, so maybe he's onto something. I'm just like, if there's so many places that don't do it.
Last time we tried it, Donald Trump wasn't president, and that's why it failed.
Of course, yes. Yeah. Time wasn't working with us.
Yeah.
Here's the Washington Post back in 2021 when a similar bill was gaining traction.
The year was 1973, and the United States was experiencing an energy crisis. Among the proposals put forward by President Richard M. Nixon in a November address was making daylight saving time permanent for the next 2 winters. Despite scant evidence of daylight saving time's past benefit on the energy supply, dating back to DST's various introductions since World War I, Americans really liked the idea. Polling in November and December 1973 showed strong and, in some cases, overwhelming support. 57% in a Gallup poll, 74% in a Lewis Harris and Associates poll, and 73% in a poll from the Roper Organization. The policy was quickly implemented in early January 1974, but it just as quickly fell out of favor.
In a Roper poll conducted in February and March, just 30% remained in favor of year-round daylight savings time, while a majority favored switching times again. Lewis Harris, polling in March, showed just 19% of people said it had been a good idea, while about twice as many, 43%, said it was a bad one. A big reason for the about-face? Whatever benefits might have been gleaned by giving people more sunlight in the evening during the winter, it also meant longer, darker mornings. Parents were suddenly sending their kids to school in the cold and the dark for months on end. As the Capitol Weather Gang noted, such a change means the sun wouldn't rise before 8 a.m. in Washington for more than 2.5 months, between late November and mid-February. The morning darkness would linger even longer farther north. Yeah, and it makes so much sense because
I think in Florida,
my dad was way further north back then. He grew up in upstate New York, so.
I think in Florida, like multiple kids got hit by cars walking to school. Like it's understandable why it's, but interestingly, this bill is being pushed hardest by Florida Republicans. Like they're all weirdly united on this one.
Their map is also weird too. It gets a little bit of every kind of change coming with it. Like they're on a certain part of the time where it's it seems like they're oddly affected depending on which coast you're on.
They should just let Southern California have our own perfect time zone. Everyone else is dealing up in the north. Yeah, you live in the north. The seasons are going to be a lot more different.
Some people live in Alaska.
Yeah,
they're dealing with it all the time.
They don't see the sun for months.
Yeah.
So
it's a point of pride, I'd say, is
Yeah.
You're like, I'm one of the mole people.
Not me, though.
Nope. Perfect weather here.
In Southern California,
it's a little hot out today, but you can't.
It was fucking scorching today. I went outside. I have one of my favorite purchases is just like a gigantic thermometer that I keep on my back porch. It's like 3 feet wide. It was the dial was about to touch 100. And it is funny. This thermometer goes down to -20. It has never moved more than a few degrees on this giant scale. They need to make thermometers for Southern California that start at 45 and go up to 100.
Yeah, more accurate. I don't need the bottom numbers.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers here that are completely useless for my purposes.
Exactly.
But I mean, as nice as it would be to not have the sun go down in the late afternoon in the winter, this seems like a monkey's paw situation for much of the country, regardless of whether it would be very cool and good for us specifically. I'm really hoping the fuckers in Northern California, they're going to ruin this for us. Oh no, the latitude up here means... Shut up. I don't care.
Enjoy your late afternoon strolls in the beautiful redwoods.
Yeah. You guys get better nature.
Yeah.
We get better weather. Let's just call it even.
They get pretty good weather up there.
I don't know. It gets a little chilly and
well, if you're hot now, just take a quick car ride up to San Francisco.
I could take a little bit of that chilly gloominess right now. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of things that are very cool and good, this episode is sponsored. And as is tradition, before we tell you about our sponsor, we have to do a cliffhanger about our next story.
Yes.
The saga of the Washington, D.C. reflecting pool continues, and the latest update is that they have drained the whole goddamn thing for the second time in just a few months. Now that all the green slime water has been removed, what do you suppose they found? Well, we'll tell you in a minute, but first we need to tell you that this episode is sponsored by Surfshark. Hang 10. We cover tech dystopia every single week, whether it's AI video slop, crypto scams, massive data leaks, what have you. So it's wild to us that some of you are still just connecting to public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop or an airport without a second thought. You're basically just broadcasting your logins to everyone in the room.
That's exactly why we use Surfshark. It encrypts your connection and hides your IP, so your activity is way harder for your ISP or random hackers to track. But it's way more than a basic VPN. It also has Clean Web, which blocks all the intrusive trackers and ads that are turning the web into garbage. Blocking those trackers also kills that thing where an airline magically jacks up the price of a flight just because you searched for it twice. And since we literally do weekly weird news, you know cybercrimes and phishing scams are getting ridiculous. Surfshark includes Alert, which watches your accounts and pings you the second that your data shows up in the next inevitable corporate breach. They also have an email scam checker that flags sketchy AI-generated phishing emails before you accidentally click them. One subscription covers unlimited devices, so your phone, your gaming PC, and your laptop are all protected. Go to surfshark.com/newsday and use code NEWSDAY at checkout for 4 extra months free, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee. That is surfshark.com/newsday.
Cowabunga, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to the news. So they drained the DC reflecting pool again, giving us the first unobstructed view of its surface since it turned into a river of slime.
Yep.
Did they find a 300-yard gash in the paint caused by Antifa terrorists with knives and snorkel gear? No.
Oh.
Of course fucking not, because that was always an obvious lie, no matter how many times they insisted it was true. And they did so many, many times.
They drained it and they said, my God, there's the Titan submersible.
They're still insisting it's true, even though we can all see it. The brand new paint job started peeling off in sheets because the people who installed it had no idea what they were doing, and they used a product not meant for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. No Antifa super soldiers with box cutters involved. Nevertheless, Kash Patel's FBI is apparently on the scene investigating the case and looking for that gigantic gash.
With big
yeah,
walking around like this.
They're combing the reflecting pool.
We ain't found shit!
With a literal comb. Yeah, anyone with eyes can see there is no gash. What you can see, however, is a whole lot of filth and debris. So much of it that the American flag blue paint job still isn't visible at all, despite the pool being completely drained. And something else that you can kind of maybe see is tire tracks.
Oh. So ever since the reflecting pool started disintegrating, there's been a theory that the cause was none other than Donald Trump himself, who back in May decided to go see that new paint job for himself. Because Trump is sedentary and lazy, his idea of visiting the reflecting pool was having his entire presidential motorcade drive right through the middle of it, right on top of that fresh coat of paint. A bunch of SUVs driving in the pool would be bad enough, but the president's car is so heavily armored that it weighs 3 to 4 times more than a normal SUV. So it is a pretty reasonable theory, and some images of the drained reflecting pool would seem to confirm that theory. We would love for this to be true. Unfortunately, it might not be. The folks at Snopes looked into it, and the biggest problem with this theory is that there are parts of the reflecting pool that appear to have tire tracks, despite Trump's motorcade never actually driving in those sections of the pool. From their investigation.
In short, this rumor was not true. A close study of the claim found the photos users shared of the reflecting pool were genuine and showed no signs of artificial intelligence or other digital manipulation. However, users shared the pictures with false or misleading captions. No evidence supported the idea that tires from Trump's motorcade caused the debris visible in the images. For that reason, we've rated this claim miscaptioned. One photo verified Trump's motorcade ride in early May did not drive near the reflecting pool's northwest corner. Other pictures showed the motorcade heading back to the east side of the pool to depart. Importantly, other vehicles and equipment facing north to south, not the direction of the alleged tire tracks, blocked the motorcade from being able to travel near the northwest corner. Other photos from May 29th, June 4th, June 6th, and June 7th confirmed workers cleaning and painting the reflecting pool drove numerous vehicles in the empty pool in the weeks after Trump's tour. Additionally, an April post from the National Park Service showed workers using special vehicles with tires dubbed super scrubbers to help with the debris problem following the former draining. We did not yet determine whether workers had used similar equipment again following the July draining, nor did we yet confirm whether such vehicles might leave behind debris lines on the left and right of their scrubbing mechanisms.
So they still might be tire tracks, just not necessarily tire tracks from Trump's motorcade. They have fucking like those giant golf carts zooming around there all the time.
A lot of cars were down there.
Yeah, but even the guy who took the photos that appear to show tire tracks doesn't think that they're tire tracks. Washington-based photographer Joe Flood took the mid-July pictures users reposted with the rumor about tire tracks. In an email, Flood told Snopes he's been taking photos in the nation's capital for nearly 20 years, including visiting the Lincoln Memorial site on hundreds of different days in all seasons and all kinds of weather. He said his visit in July led him to believe the lines weren't tire tracks, but rather irregular lines of debris. I'm so glad that you reached out about this. People have interpreted them as tire tracks, but that's not what it looked like to me. It's irregular lines of debris, not indentations in the pool liner. It looks like what you'd find at the tide line at the ocean, or if you were draining a really grimy bathtub. The stuff that was left over after the water receded. I'm guessing this occurred as they were draining the pool. They shot off fireworks next to the pool on July 4th, so a lot of that burnt paper and ash ended up in the pool. That's the debris in the pool. And yeah, makes sense. Also, I just want to point out that regardless if it's the president driving a giant SUV over it,
it's all dumb.
All of that would maybe contribute to the final failure of this pool. It certainly wasn't a handful of people going to visit the reflecting pool and put their hands in it, nor was it someone who was inside of the pool cutting it with a giant knife.
Yeah, I mean, the motorcade driving through a reflecting pool is still hilarious in the sense of hubris and misplaced pride.
And then immediately blaming others for what, it's just very obvious.
But yeah, it would make sense. The reflecting pool's just full of dirt and debris and
bad duck shit.
Yeah, the surface of the bottom of the pool it's old as shit. It's uneven surface, so debris is kind of washing up in long streaks where it gets trapped while they're draining it. Honestly, this is such a low-stakes issue that you are well within your rights to keep on believing that Trump's car caused damage. It doesn't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make the reflecting pool saga any less ridiculous if it isn't true. Donald Trump made a big spectacle of repainting the reflecting pool, paid $13 million to some guys who had no idea what they were doing. They did a terrible job and used the wrong coating, and it immediately started peeling and breeding algae as soon as they filled it with water, resulting in a second reflecting pool refurbishment just 2 months later. It's stupid as hell, regardless of whether Trump's car had anything to do with it.
Yeah. Well,
second time's the charm, though, right?
Look, we've all got so much more of this to look forward to. In fact, Thursday evening, Trump's going to do a big press conference, and he's going to go over some stuff from the 2020 election, if you could believe it or not.
Oh, good.
So if you think you're getting tired of the reflecting pool, wait until you hear about all the new information that Trump is about to pull out of his ass for the 2020 election. Nearly a decade ago.
Everyone's been begging for years, 2016 was so long ago.
Let's relitigate the 2020 election.
Let's stop relitigating 2016. It's all right, here, you got your wish. We're relitigating 2020 forever now.
Yeah, this is the move of someone who is desperate to pass the SAVE Act.
He's trying to decertify both of Georgia's senators.
Yeah.
It's not going to fucking work, but it is going to inconvenience a lot of fucking people for a long time. And I don't know. It's just funny. Journalists were in the Senate today, interviewing senators. What do you think? Do you think they're legitimate? And they're like, I don't know.
There was an interview with the guy who's taking over Tulsi Gabbard's job where, ironically enough, John Ossoff was asked point blank, who won the 2020 election? And they refused to answer.
They can never answer.
Refused to answer.
Every single confirmation. It's just the
easiest question.
Joe Biden was certified the president. It was okay, well,
they won't even say that anymore. It's crazy. Anyways, that's it for today's episode. We will be back with more very soon. In the meantime, we have other episodes for you to watch, including our obituary to Lindsey Graham, of course.
Yeah.
And,
keep it down.
And you can check out that, another episode of Weekly Weird News. We'll be back soon. See you very shortly. But like the video. Like the video. Leave a comment. Put your brown heart down there.
Yeah. Leave a brown heart.
In solidarity with the other people suffering from watery diarrhea.
Is there a brown heart emoji?
Well, we'll find out in today's comment section.
Whatever.
I guess the poop emoji would be the second go-to.
It's kind of an upside down heart.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Anyways, we'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.